There's also been a decent amount of focus on the Zyra-Khan combos right now, but I think that it should be Milio. I feel like Milio is so much better. You compare it with actually a lot of different champions too. He's not really pigeonholed into only a single partner there, so they do lock it down for NRG, and 100 Thieves in their trade. I'll say thank you very much. We do get both the Zeri as well as the mid lane roaming stun setup.
Yuumi's still available, Kobe.
Yeah, and Yuumi is going to very highly probably get picked by 100 Thieves, and you get that unholy pairing that you're that you're dreading.
I am mentally preparing myself right now as NRG have to physically prepare themselves to see what this next champion is going to be locked in. I'm expecting the Aphelios to just go on through. Yeah, so Aphelios, Milio, I'm expecting that to be up against a Zeri Yuumi bot lane for the side of 100 Thieves. But what do they want to go with here? Do they want to pick their mid laner before 100 Thieves has a chance to pinch that pool further? Remember, both the Ahri and the Neeko already banned out. Syndra could be something that has a range advantage over Annie, so you can try to play around it that way. What does Palafox want to play against the Duck?
Well, Syndra is a pretty good pick right now in the meta. Lots of burst damage. As you mentioned, lots of range. It's also not always about the mid lane matchup too with this champion. Syndra is really good at stuffing a lot of engages, long range ones. So when you have the Syndra with Scatter of the Weak as well as the Milio kickbacks with the super ultra mega fire kick, whatever the hell, then you've got two denials for some of those more textbook engages. The problem is a Flash Annie Tibbers, you really have to preempt those. So definitely still could all fall in disaster because both are squishy. So a lot comes down to that accuracy and that playmaking and which jungle can get there first to influence and help them out.
Well, we're focusing top laners now for both sides, getting rid of the Jax, getting rid of the Malphite. Do we want to keep doubling down on that or spread the love a little bit to the other roles? What's it going to be, 100 Thieves? What's it going to look like? Nods there. Hey, I agree with you, dude. I agree with you.
This is just the world. We have to live in it. Gragas, I would presume, because you're looking for frontline for NRG right now.
Did we miss a ban?
You're gonna need some. I mean, it's been stuck here for a while, but they've still got 8 seconds. It looks like to me. Or they've got 2 shifting right now.
Yeah.
Did we miss?
Yeah, that's what I'm confused about. Is there a
Might be just
one?
spectator action.
Okay, we got Gwen.
No, we're good. We're good.
What about over there?
We're good. We're good. It's good. All right.
Good?
Yeah, it's good. All right. Gwen banned out on the top side because, again, NRG is looking for tank stats right now. They need engage. They need frontline. They need beefiness. They don't want to have to deal with a Gwen if they have to blind pick their top laner for Dhokla.
Okay, so I guess we missed a ban.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is
so that's,
user error.
It is what it is. Okay, we're going to lock in the Lee Sin for closer. You talked about Lee Sin, Wukong, Viego. Hey, they banned out one. The other 2 are left, and they want to go with the playmaker here on the Lee Sin for 100 Thieves.
All right. And then the tank we're looking for in the top lane. Is Ksante the tank we're looking for, Flowers? I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
It's definitely the tank I'm looking for.
He plays into everything, and he does just fine. Feels great to blind pick him. Gwen's banned away, so that's one of those matchups that people normally want to play into it. Jax is out, so yeah. Ksante's looking great here for Dhokla. He's happy to have that one locked in for him. Last pick of the draft for NRG, and I need to see a jungler. What's it going to be? You've already got very traditional comp here. I mean, you've got hyperscaling AD carry, you've got an enchanter next to him, control mage mid, tank top, standard stuff.
I know you don't like Rek'Sai, but Rek'Sai is really good into Lee Sin because you can interrupt.
Yeah, you interrupt.
But they go with the Kha'Zix instead. More damage with the lethality builds floating around. So Contractz on the Kha'Zix. He's definitely a feast or famine jungler, very, very aggressive. See if he can get started early. Working around an Annie mid lane is always a little bit dangerous as a Kha'Zix player because that burst potential is extremely high. So you want to coordinate very, very specifically with your mid laner when you go for those plays. You need that Syndra stun to hit. If it hits, boom, you can blow her up. If it doesn't hit, then you are in a very, very dangerous scenario here. So Nukeduck and Closer, I think, might like their chances in that 2v2 and see if they can force something. 100 Thieves, their game plan here is going to look towards top triangle of the map early on. Just have DoubleLift and Busio farming up down there on bottom side. so that they can come with that Trinity Force Zeri that you know and love.
I mean, you've got point-and-quick stuns in both of your solo lanes and a very powerful early jungler in that Lee Sin. I think that that top-side plan that you're talking about for 100, this isn't your normal mid lane opponent. This is the enemy team's coach, so you would expect your starting mid laner to have the edge and be able to build something meaningful there.
And I will say, Nukeduck has done quite well for himself coming back.
He has.
It's only a year removed from pro play. Was on XL over in LEC, but yeah, a year is a decently long time in League of Legends.
Yeah.
As anyone will know from even taking like a week break of playing.
The hands start to feel all rusty.
Hey, what is going on? All right. Doesn't look like we've got too many early shenanigans, but Ignar did pick up the sweeper for bottom side after dropping his trinkets. The classic exchange, just drop your trinket ward in the side brush on bottom lane to get your brush control towards the alcove.
Yeah.
Then go back and grab your sweeper.
Everything normal in terms of summoner spells as well. Got Ghost on both of those 80 carries, so no cleanse opportunities here. Obviously, Busio taking the heal and exhaust, just hyper defensive. Keep Zeri alive. That's the name of the game. Let DoubleLift pop off and just completely take over those later fights. As Sunday's going to try to cause some problems for Contractz' early start, but because Dhokla's there reinforcing his jungler, he's not permitting that to happen.
And we saw NRG's bottom lane got the freebie kill on the Warden bot. That feels nice too in the start here. They're actually going to get bullied down though. Exhaust.
Yeah, that extra combat summoner giving DoubleLift and Busio the edge in the level 1.
Little bit of a miss on the Q. Trying to squeeze it through these minions. So they got small amount of damage out of it there. Double ghost trade for both AD carries as well. With the push now going the other way.
All right. Junglers on the top side of the map. Going to be pathing down towards this bottom lane. Like we said, we want to see Closer spend more time with the solo lanes early on at least.
And they did see Contractz too. You mentioned about how yesterday, Someday was having a big impact on the jungle matchup as the top laner with this Renekton going for invades. He did a little thing already to go see and verify the blue start for Contractz. So Closer does know both junglers starting top side, heading towards bottom. They also have that Raptor ward for themselves. Nukeduck able to get the extra information for his jungler, and Closer will use that to come on over. Looks like he's going to pass through this jungle towards bottom.
Yep. Just hanging out in the river for now. Contractz just continuing to farm. Already has a 1 camp lead over the Lee Sin. Going to be up to 2 before Lee completes that next camp there on the Gromp.
All right. Pretty defensive warding coming out too, with them keeping the bottom river lit up here. Making sure there's no follow through on that invade, and mid lane getting down to 50%. Could be an opportunity, except for both teams know junglers ending on bottom side. Especially now, Contractz just pops the Scryer's Bloom, so they know he's here for sure. And you see the immediate position there from Nukeduck, hovers on top side. They got that Scryer's Bloom pop. Assuming they're just going to go top side for Scuttle Crab trade as well, because Closer is already yoinking up this bottom one. Oh, Contractz actually still going to come over, even though it's a little late, and he'll see the Scuttle Crab is gone.
Yeah, Contractz does have the advantage of a pushing bottom lane. Now he's going to jump in and decide to fight Closer here. Closer just trying to get the hell out of town. Does not want to fight the Kha'Zix while ISO'd. Contractz keeping that chase going, takes the blast cone.
Oh, he got one more!
Contractz needed one more hit, but the flash out, flash for flash in the jungle. Closer stays alive.
That's that killer instinct. Why people love watching Contractz play. Sometimes it's a flop, but a lot of times it is a dub, and it was exciting at least. Gets the flash for flash trade. As we mentioned, in the end, no kill. It does mean Closer knowing he is on the other side will be able to get the double Scuttle Crab at that.
Sir. Easy pick up there. As you can see, Dhokla going down, checking that river. He'll see that the Scuttle Crab was confirmed killed by the side of 100 Thieves. And the double longsword purchase for Contractz, working towards that lethality like you're talking about. I expect it'll probably be another Duskblade again.
Yes, sir. As do I. You can go for rushing the Umbral Glaive first if you want. Really want that early vision blackout. If you go for the Duskblade, then you get it second anyways. So just the order switch up depending if you want that vision control, and should be another top side down clear for both junglers. Again, it's easy keeping track of these because of the routes that we started with, so should be both of them now full clearing down towards the bottom half of the map again. And with Dragon up, your recalls on ADs mean a lot. So both of them getting their resets here at the same time.
Renekton going back to base, showing right back up in the top lane. So these teleports are going to be essentially synced up. Obviously, Dhokla's will be a couple seconds ahead, and they should both be right back up around when they will unleash. So we'll have to keep an eye up there 5 minutes or so from now and see if those guys can find any plays to make elsewhere on the map. But for now, they just continue scaling forwards. Both mid laners level 6. I want to see junglers get involved now, man. Mid laners are both level 6. They're both burst mages. Let's see some plays be made.
Well, support roams, at least for the non-Yuumi support, does go through mid lane, and a little bit of a hover there from Ignar on the big wave that's crashing. Your hopes are to try and deny Annie whenever you have a wave crashing. Syndra with the range advantage, getting control of the wave and trying to push it in, and then you want to harass the Annie at tower to make her miss as many of those CS as you possibly can, and it forced him to drop a few there for Palafox, so decently nice start from him. And now it is going to be about when one of those stuns actually lands as Someday goes past the tower here to do a little dirty farming.
Yep, Someday just trying to steal them waves away. He has a very nice farm lead of about 2 waves over Dhokla's Ksante. Dhokla doing everything he can to put some damage into the Croc while he's too close to the turret to fight back. Closer standing on top of a ward, doing the old emote test there just to see if Palafox emotes back at him to confirm whether or not the ward is there now that it's dead. He'll be able to maybe make something else happen.
I like how they dropped the control ult on Dragon too, because Kha'Zix, once you hit level 6 and you evolve Q with the ISO damage, you can take dragons pretty quickly just by yourself.
Yeah.
And so they leave the control ward there. Ultimate is exchanged onto Palafox for 50% HP and the push on the minion wave. Thought maybe they would go a little aggressive here since Contractz was there, but they didn't have the stun for Palafox to land on a Nukeduck in answer. No setup for Kha'Zix means they're not going to go for it.
And Closer going to try to steal away this blue. Okay. We
Blast
did
cone
not
mechanics.
see that. That didn't happen. Okay. The blue's been spotted. Not low enough for Contractz, or for Closer, excuse me. Try to burst it down.
There will be no punish for the blast cone, the vertical blast cone.
It all worked out. No harm, no foul. No level 6 on either of these guys as Dhokla goes all out. Someday taken underneath the turret. Manages to get himself away before those turrets start firing on him. Contract's going to start up his own blue now. Closer finds the Sonic Wave. Okay, we're just going to play tug of war over this blue buff forever.
Beat him up.
Someday's coming into hell.
It's all about the solo laners. Both junglers stare down as the solo laners influence is going to be the end call here. Someday walks his way down, but that means Dhokla pushes first on the wave. And so Someday's like, all right, you got a few seconds of my time, buddy, but I got to get back. Make sure I don't drop this wave at tower. He goes back, still has a few range minions there, stalling it out. So he collects it, both junglers call it off, and Contractz gets his blue, but Closer gets 6 off the red.
Yeah.
And he is feeling a little dangerous.
He's feeling spicy. He sees Contractz. He knows that a double Q plus an R can probably just kill him, but he's got to be concerned about Palafox and Ignar. Nice scout of the week. Closer down to barely 100 HP.
I would consider forcing this Rift Herald then. That is a pretty low Closer with no flash. However, you also don't have your Syndra ult, so if Nukeduck comes over with the Yuumi on him, you're going to be outpowered here.
Yeah, Someday.
Tibbers is ready.
Angle here, flashes forward for the Ruthless Predator. Dominus also popped there, but a nice escape from the side of NRG, making sure they don't get caught in it. Now NRG ready to maybe strike back.
FBI's here. FBI. That's all 5 for NRG, and you see the Zeri bottom, so they've got to get this Rift Herald, or else DoubleLift will get free turret plates.
DoubleLift's probably going to grab some plates regardless, so NRG required to commit to this now as Someday walks his way back up into the top lane, and you can see 100 Thieves deciding they're going to pick up the Drake. Honestly, grabbing yourself a couple of plates and getting the Drake, I think, is a perfectly fine trade for the Herald here for the side of 100 Thieves.
And Dhokla doesn't have teleport. You see him put the sad B emote up because the minions on the bottom lane are just dying to the tower as the Yuumi Zeri pushes in and gets the turret plate for themselves. And Dhokla's sad about it because he doesn't get to soak any of that experience or get any money off of it, even though his jungler does get the Rift Herald. It's okay. Life of the top laner happens.
Sometimes you just have to play the weak side. Sometimes it's every game.
Yeah, so
League of Legends is about bot lane
sometimes
right now.
it's every time, and he's actually not even walking bottom either. They're going to swap back here. They recall their bottom lane when they see the Renekton here on the bottom side. walking up. They know it is a double-lift swap to the top side, and NRG call it, so they get their recall off as well.
The only significant farm lead in this game is between top laners. Plus 20 there for Ssumday over Dhokla. Junglers, mid, AD carries, all pretty even. Umbral Glaive fully completed here for Contractz, so you were right. Wants to go for that early vision control.
And I want to highlight, in these pushes, 100 Thieves keep getting the extra wave denied. So 100 Thieves coming out ahead. Dhokla's even more sad about it. He finally collects this wave, but now DoubleLift is on him.
Yeah, DoubleLift has Busio attached for the 2v1. Dhokla wants to go all out, escape back underneath the tier 1 turret.
Wants to go all
a
home.
lot of damage on him. Dhokla with a flash away to survive. They get 3 summoner spells out of 100 Thieves for the 1 of Dhokla, so that's something. And he gets away from the prowling projectile in time, but DoubleLift is going to collect more plate money up here.
Yeah, traded, and then bottom side you can see Aphelios also getting plate money. The difference is that Ssumday collected 1 wave, and so he retains this nice juicy CS lead. Dhokla goes for another stop, but can't quite get this one.
Remember, if the damage hits you during that last fraction of a second in your recall, the recall completes anyway.
Yeah, and you have to get through shields as well. Teleport being used to keep up their tempo here. Ssumday gets back, doesn't want to drop this wave either.
All right, Herald summoned. Kaboom! Only 1 sliver of HP remaining here on the turret as Closer wants to go in and try to make some kind of a move on these guys, but Ignar and FBI are ready for him. They immediately fight him off. With FBI having all these chakrams stacked up, the turret is so close to dead. I can't help but wonder if they would have put more damage into the turret first and had the Herald charge maybe after first plate breaks. Does it turn into a kill?
He can finish it now, though. Contractz is coming.
Contractz ready. Remember that DoubleLift does not have any summoners. He does not have his ultimate, and he no longer has a turret. The problem for DoubleLift is that nobody else is around to keep him alive. It's just Busio's exhaust. The Zeri tries to fight and still gets first blood. What is this champion, man? Busio's trying to get out, but it's a double kill back over to Contractz.
Hey, man, watch out. His Trinity Force is completed. That was an early Trinity Force, and that mattered. He gets the first blood. Actually, I need to see the replay. Did he buy it right after the first blood when he was in Fountain? Let me see. We'll check. Okay, so they go for the finish on the tower. Exhaust is early. They go for it, so they know he's going to get caught. DoubleLift trying to put as much damage as he can into them. And FBI, he does finish off the kill, gets the 450. Thank you for the tab. Looks like he's already in Fountain now, so. But Contractz able to chase down for the second. Do get the 2 kills.
NRG up over 1,000 gold now with his 2-1 lead. FBI putting some bullets in Ssumday. Meanwhile, back in mid lane, the Duck is on the loose. Again, just trying to put whatever damage he can find on Palafox. Slightly down in farm, but really just dead even between these guys. Plus 20 in the jungle as well there for the Lee Sin for Closer, but it still doesn't matter. Like, the gold advantage for NRG is huge because of that bot lane turret being completely taken, losing all of those plates before 14 minutes.
Yeah.
You can look at the total amount of plates taken by the side of 100 Thieves. They've taken 5. And NRG wants to get this last one here. Needs like 1 more shot on that turret. There we go. An extra, what is that, 175 gold between the 2 of them.
And with the moves here, and even with the first blood going over to DoubleLift, FBI does still have the very slight gold lead here, getting another plate just in time. So he ekes it out, and he's been able to get the reset, has finished the Kraken Slayer, has his jungler on his side of the map again, and so NRG used that leverage.
Oh, Ssumday. He didn't get back in time, and the bug found him out. Contractz grabbing kill number 3. All of those kills for NRG are on the jungler, on Contractz. The only 2 wealthier people in the game are the AD carries.
Yeah, it's so much more correct. Play to that AD carry side of the map. Contractz keeps going to the duo lane, keeps going for the dives. They dive after the low health tower. They succeed on bottom side, even though they gave up the first blood. Still call it a W because they got 2 of them. And then top side, no answer from 100 Thieves. So Dragon coming up off the reset. It looks like NRG will have positioning if they want to venture into the Fog of War to try and brute force it and get there in time. It looks like they do because they're spending teleport in order to get here. Contractz could go for a steal. Kha'Zix very good at it, of course.
He's got to be careful, though. He can't just give his life away for nothing. So much of the team's money is on that bug. And there it is, Dragon slain by DoubleLift and 100 Thieves as Dhokla wanted to go all in, but now he's got to be careful. He gets back out of the pit. Nukeduck and Kha'Zix both nearly dead. FBI still looking to maybe make something else happen here in this one. Contractz fires off the Scryer's Bloom. It's going to see 100 Thieves disengaging. But honestly, all's well that ends well for 100 Thieves. They don't lose anybody. They get the Drake. They get out.
Well, DoubleLift is Zeri, so he can jump over walls.
Right.
Okay. He walks in towards 3, but he's not really worried about it. Also has the Yuumi on top of him. All right. They don't get it. They don't lose anyone, as you say, and the heist is complete. They get the Dragon, even while being down 3,500.
And that mid lane tier 1 turret's looking awfully juicy for the side of NRG. They can knock that one down, build this lead up to about 4,000. But right now, DoubleLift and Busio are hard set on keeping it standing. DoubleLift can clear the wave away, make sure that turret stays up. Someday trying to apply some pressure up here in the top lane, maybe take down this tier 1. 100 Thieves still with no turrets to their name. This will be a nice injection of gold, and Dhokla cannot stop it from happening.
Yeah, big stuff there. Answering some of the gold that was still just left here standing on the map. They will teleport over to get the Rift Herald as well. So you see a minion wave at tower on bottom side for 100 Thieves, but it's very small, and they're just going to start slowly pushing back from bottom side. So they get a very nice unanswered turret on top side plus Rift Herald pickup for themselves to cut that gold lead down a little bit.
Plus 3,000 gold for NRG. That goes down, just like you said, slightly, but the first 2 Drakes for 100 Thieves do make up some of the stats that gold would be able to buy. So pretty close game here between the two sides overall. Is it still just a scale and wait for Zeri to become the main character strategy for 100 Thieves, or do you want to see something else from them?
Yeah, I think it's all about playing around DoubleLift Busio here. They've got the stuns to do it, so closer with flash, and whenever Nukeduck has his flash as well, you have playmaking opportunities. You know, you've already got the Trinity Force, and you've got your Echoes on Busio, so you are very capable of making plays here.
DoubleLift continuing to try to defend this damn turret. This thing has been standing just barely for so long. Somebody breathes on it wrong, it's gonna drop. FBI steps up. There we go. Red turret destroyed. That is all 3 outer turrets knocked down now by NRG. 3,500 gold lead. That one turret that someday got up there in the top lane did make up what would have been the difference between NRG hitting that 4K lead or not. Do you think that is a substantial enough gold lead for this point in the game, considering you're up against the Zeri Yuumi scaling?
Well, I'm going to prophesize that if 100 Thieves kill Contractz, which is very doable. Kha'Zix is a very squishy assassin, and they get that bounty. They've got a Lee Sin kick to do it. They've got an Annie stun to do it. If they get that kill, then they're going to be fine.
Okay.
If they don't get that kill, then things will not be fine, because NRG, if they're able to play around the range and the denials here with the Syndra Milio combination, to be able to protect this Aphelios, that is super duper scary. So not gonna be like some big crazy difference later on in the game. The control ward here might be some bait.
Ooh, someday. Going over the wall with the blast cone. He'll get away from that one, but now NRG has control over the 100 Thieves red side jungle. Contractz wants to be able to steal this red buff away. He's not going to get it. Closer gets away with that one. The red buff orb is still on the ground. You know DoubleLift wants the orb.
You should be able to go get that, no problem. Everybody has left the area, so red buffs acquired for 100 Thieves.
Contractz not quite level 11 yet on that Kha'Zix. Would really love to get that. I would expect him to evolve the rockets for the extra slow, the extra AoE coverage.
Yeah.
There we go. Level 11 evolved now, and
Spike rack for sure.
Sure enough, there's the rockets.
There's like 0 chance. I'm not even going to give it like the 0.01%.
You're just calling it a flat out 0.
That you do something else in pro play. If you don't have the spike rack, what are you bringing to the mid game?
Well, Drake in under 45 seconds. I'm expecting we're going to get a fight for this. 100 Thieves would love to put themselves at soul point, have that pressure over NRG for the rest of the game. Nukeduck has that flash Tibbers like you were talking about. That is a huge team fight tool. Contractz and FBI, either one of those guys, boom, you win the fight.
Oh, this teleport for Tempo to Dragon here from Palafox. They teleport him down. He doesn't even want to waste the time walking because Dragon's up in 13 seconds. They want to get this vision. It's so important to be able to utilize that range advantage that we're talking about with the stuns, because whichever team gets that snap engage is going to be able to burst somebody down. There's so much damage here. Dhokla's going to be able to push them out. That teleport from Palafox grants them entry into the river. They've got the control wards down. They will burst down this dragon. And teleport on Rift Herald is going to delay that push a little bit, but 100 Thieves should be able to trade mid-tower.
All right, the dragon almost reset there for a little bit. But yeah, mid-tower should fall.
Here they come.
NRG wants to prevent this second Herald charge. They jump in immediately, just kill Someday. Nicely done there as Nukeduck and Closer have to try to get away now. FBI chasing after him. Marks 2 with a purple gun, grabbing him, locks him down, and NRG's ready to clean him up. Palafox picks up the kill on the enemy mid laner as Closer tries to get out right next to DoubleLift and Busio. FBI ready to chase, but it's Zeri, man. You gotta look out. DoubleLift pops the ult, ready for this fight, and forces NRG to reconsider.
All starts with a Shirelia's active. The move speed from Ignar boosts them over to the rotation. Palafox gets in range, uses the long range scatter the weak stun to pick off Someday, and there's no teleport on Someday. So this dragon would have to be a steal from Closer. 5,000 health, he's got flash, he's got everything. Closer could definitely yoink this. CLG got to keep him out.
NRG are trying to just keep that Lee Sin away. A kick over the wall. The Zap's ready to follow it up. Closer goes into the pit, but he's immediately killed. NRG take out the jungler, and they smite down the Baron at 21 minutes. But now Nukeduck has made a TP in. He's still ready to fight. There's no Tibbers, but he has his stun. Zap over the wall. FBI likely to die here. Nukeduck doesn't chase him all the way just yet. Contractz and Dhokla both nearby. Protect the president. Secret Service Ksante. Get ready to go. Pathmaker trying to shove the duck back. Contractz. Oh, he's thinking about this one, but you don't just want to give him another kill. Dhokla and FBI both getting picked up there as 100 Thieves get some kind of a punish after the Baron.
Okay, that's 2 kills after the Baron. Contractz. Don't want to mess with that. A little bit too much power right there. But he could get a straggling recall maybe. Okay, not quite. Everybody calm down here. 100 Thieves. Definitely really poor situation with that Baron. It came out probably the worst that it could. It was like special delivery, Lee Sin kill plus then. There's no smite steal threat, so you don't push them off the Baron either. So that was very beneficial for NRG. This one though, the root, the purple gun from Aphelios, often underestimated, but huge value. I like how they cut out the part where Contractz flash spike racked and then they all had to run away. But here we go with the Zeri laser going through. And he got kind of hyped. Yeah. And it was a nice little stop there from NRG with all 5 members in the pit. They just push him right against the wall. Boop. Lee Sin doesn't get to do anything there. And they get the kill. And once that smite is down also, then they're not even worried about finishing the Baron or the flip threat. So ideal scenario for NRG.
Yes, sir. And now we're back to live with a nearly 5,000 gold lead for NRG. They have the Baron for another 75 seconds. And here in about 2 minutes, the next Drake spawns. Contractz stealing away the enemy jungle. They're placing down some vision. They're using their tempo here. FBI does not have the Baron buff, so the minions are not currently enchanted down here in bottom lane. Now that Palafox shows up, they've got him buffed. Nukeduck and Closer in position to defend. DoubleLift and Busio join up. FBI blessed with the cozy campfire, the long-range damage. Nukeduck's down, sniped, beautifully done from NRG.
This is the second time this week that we have seen the Milio Aphelios combo get one of those super deep kills at the tower. Another one from FBI. The snipe is true. The Baron buff is still going to provide that value. These turrets are going to fall very quickly. Mid lane, short to follow here. Dhokla pushes that one up while the rest of the squad here is working away on bottom.
I love the fact that this ability lets Aphelios commit war crimes, but it's called Cozy Campfire. Just the execution of what it does versus what it's called. Like, watch this again.
It is the stun from Palafox to set it all up. And then the green gun snipe. Beautiful stuff. With the blue follow. All right. Now, I mean, the range is just one of the best things to utilize towards late game. And again, that's why you keep highlighting it with Syndra. But these Syndra stuns, finding people a screen away. The last one we saw was Someday as they were trying to rotate away from that tower. Contractz getting in here versus the red buff. There's no smite.
Just stole it away. He knows he can't beat Zeri, but he can steal the red buff, so she can't have it.
I can't beat Zeri, but I can beat you at jungle camp killing. Yes. No smite on that either of those champions. So Dragon will be our next point of conflict here. And honestly, 100 Thieves probably just give it away.
Yeah, I would expect so.
It's 18 seconds and the hole is too deep.
And honestly, NRG are checking all the boxes that we wanted to see them check, right? Contractz has not died. He's not given away that shutdown. Yep. Palafox is having a lot of presence in the game with these stuns like you were talking about. And FBI and Ignar are utilizing their range to keep 100 Thieves away and not just get bursted down. Yeah,
when NRG were able to get the Mountain Dragon and then Shirelia's over for the rotation to catch 100 Thieves in the remnants of their mid tower going down, get those kills, and then end up in a scenario getting Baron too. It makes it way more difficult for 100 Thieves to come back in the game, but they're still going to try. Bully over to the Zeri side. The Hurricane is done, and the Titanic is on the way. When you get those 3 items for the Zeri is when you really start AoE melting these team fights.
And that's kind of the point of critical mass for NRG, because if you feel like you're running the game up until that point, and all of a sudden you're playing against that, and you just completely whiff a team fight, that could be the turning point for 100 Thieves, and I think that's what they're playing with.
There you go.
There it is. Titanic Hydra online for DoubleLift. 26 minutes in, the core Zeri build is completed. This is the Monka W phase. If you're NRG, you must play around this.
Look at that health bar. Is that an 80 carry health bar?
That's a Zeri health bar.
All right, let's see if they can take it down. We got a little bit of a rotation over. Nobody pushing top lane though, so top lane going nowhere, and they want the play.
Closer. Gonna have to be a little bit careful here. Instead, he tries to turn it right back around on Contractz, who disengages back to the rest of his team. Dhokla shows up here with a teleport. Closer, stop watching. Not getting a lot of value out of that one. FBI trying to find some time to fire on these guys. Breath of Life trying to keep him alive as Nukeduck's now going to get chased down by FBI and Dhokla. The enemy mid laner's down, and NRG are looking for more. Dhokla's all out. Sunday's in trouble. A little bit more damage with another Intofo strike, double knockback as FBI flashes back over the wall to make sure DoubleLift can't hit him, and Sunday is still getting chased. It's DoubleLift and Busio versus all of NRG as the Scout of the Week finds DoubleLift. He's got to play out of his mind if he wants to win this one. Still being kept alive. The heals, the shields, the speed. Zeri against the world, and the world just said, screw you. NRG get the ace for nothing.
I echo that sentiment for the Zeri Yuumi. But FBI Aphelios shows that 200 years is enough time. It is stronger. Contractz gets kicked in, but the flash you mentioned, he's right back to the cozy campfire. They're safe. And then the stopwatch was because he wanted to avoid the Syndra stun follow-up. So Closer does avoid the Syndra stun follow-up. Then Sunday tries to flash stun onto FBI, but FBI has the cleanse. He gets out of the Nukeduck engage, and then the Aphelios is mowing him down. Red, white guns. He's set up by Dhokla, who gets the Q3 pullback onto 2 members. FBI just gets the chase forward. The Aphelios running wild in this one, while the Syndra stuns, just creating so much space for them to work with. And with the confidence of the Milio, able to chase forward, a boom.
Zeri, you get the loot pinata attached to her as well. And you can see damage dealt in the last fight. It was FBI topping charts. But second most was not Zeri. It was the Ksante. Dhokla putting in a lot of work in that fight as well, as Nukeduck gets caught out of position, killed before anything can happen. That's a 5v4 now for NRG for the next 45 seconds.
Milio. Even with 0 damage, because he gives a cleanse to FBI and he gives all the buffs, it's
all you gotta do, man.
It's honestly the carry.
He has 100% kill participation, because whenever you're casting Cozy Campfire, buffing everybody up, you're guaranteed to be participating whenever one of those kills comes in. You're getting an assist for it. FBI has more than enough firepower to just bulldoze these tier 3 turrets. That first one's already dropped as Dhokla gets the wave primed up with the Baron buff to make it more difficult for 100 Thieves to clear. DoubleLift, I mean, a couple auto attacks, but it's Ksante. He's not too worried about it. Sunfire Cape plus the Iceborne Gauntlet and the plated steel caps makes him plenty tanky. Top lane inhibitor is down, and we've got less than a minute and a half until the Drake spawns. Almost perfectly lines up with the Baron buff timer, so NRG will be able to control the map entirely until that objective is available, as DoubleLift and the rest of 100 Thieves are just on farm duty, clearing those waves, trying to stabilize.
So they just had Palafox teleport back to mid lane, but then they have Dhokla recall anyway, so doesn't look like they're actually going to get a lot of pressure out of that one, and they're just going to arrive really early to Dragon setup here.
I mean, this is it's a suicide mission. If you try to go in as 100 Thieves to fight in open territory, you're 13,000 gold behind.
Bug versus Crocodile.
It's like one of those Animal Planet shows.
Bug's got teammates though.
I don't think that happened on Animal Planet. Contractz does have his wings too. Means he can commit much more haphazardly to grabbing a kill, knowing he can get the reset and get back out after. Did pop the ulti there just to make sure he didn't end up giving away what would otherwise be a free game state.
Yeah, if there was not a sweeper ticking there for 100 Thieves, then he was looking for the big chunk onto DoubleLift. Gets spotted out by that, and only 10 seconds left on Dragon number 3. So with the Baron timing out, I would expect that they pull back the Dragon first. Because no Baron push power means it's a little risky here.
Right.
You want to guarantee get your objective first.
And Zeri just mows down waves unless Baron's protecting them. So NRG not going to try to hard force anything. Instead, just picking up that free Drake. Gold lead's still over 12,000. Contractz needs no help with this. It's a little bit slow, but there's no concern about it. So that one's now guaranteed. Level 16 on the Kha'Zix, level 14 on the Lee Sin. Gargoyle Stoneplate done for Dhokla. So we know that as long as you press the button, we did see some burst in the previous game that caught Rich off guard on the Ksante, got him killed before he could end up utilizing that. But the amount of extra defense that gives you, you can even face tank Zeri for a couple of seconds with that one.
Yeah, I mean, the item difference at this point in the game is immense for NRG. Everybody except the top lane matchup is full items ahead.
And Someday immediately loses Guardian Angel. Tibbers is spawned and then instantly killed. Long range damage coming in from FBI. Not enough to kill Someday thanks to the Guardian Angel, but he's lost his ult, he's lost that GA passive, and now FBI and the rest of NRG have some free firing time on the tier 3 turret in the bottom lane. No wave anywhere nearby though.
Yeah. Milio gameplay is so chill. You just stand back, give your cozy campfires your AD carry, wait till they need cleanse, kick somebody if they try and get in close, stay completely out of range.
Palafox forced to flash there as 100 Thieves tried to defend. FBI finally got that wave he wanted, and there goes the tier 3 turret in the bottom lane. Contractz jumping over the wall, fires off some rockets. Not gonna get DoubleLift with just that. FBI does have the Calibrum, the green one. A little bit of extra range, extra opportunity to put this inhibitor in the ground. There it goes. That was one auto attack on Nukeduck.
Yeah, he's able to hit the Q on that sucker, and kaboom. All right, well, 2 inhibitors down, Flowers. NRG, 13.3 thousand gold lead. This is more than the 10,075 gold lead that they had yesterday that they dropped the game.
Right.
So this
is the one.
It's further across the finish line. This is deep in the end zone already. There's no way.
They're so far in the end zone, they're out in the audience, man. Like, this lead is massive. So for 100 Thieves, what's the moment? What is, if you're 100 Thieves, what is the Hail Mary moment that you go for? When do you YOLO
I think you try and get them while they're resetting and they're coming back out of Fountain, because that's when they're a little lazy, a little sleepy, and a little lethargic. So group up and just try and jump on somebody while they think they're running the world here. Surprise them.
Well, Baron spawns in 5 seconds. Contractz is moving around behind the enemy here. Dhokla and Palafox are going to see Nukeduck closer. DoubleLift and Busio right behind them. Contractz is ready for the angle here. They're just going to go after the Duck instead. There he goes. FBI's on a rampage. And with a teleport for Someday, putting him right in the middle of everybody. He's not long for this world. He couldn't even do the flash stun. Closer goes down next. DoubleLift doesn't have a chance in the world, as now NRG just tears him to pieces. The loot pinata gets popped. A double kill back over to the Bug, and they will not lose this one, Kobe. 18-3, 34 minutes in, 15,000 gold. NRG's getting their first win of Summer Split.
There they go. NRG on the board. That's a dub. FBI buffed up by the Milio. And Contractz, deathless on Kha'Zix. That was what I was looking at.
Yeah.
If they gave up the bounty, then there was a comeback angle for 100 Thieves. If not, there's no angle, okay? Smurfs it on the assassin, full lethality, full dominance.